Welcome to Ghost Stories, because everybody has one. I'm Stephanie Osteen.
I'm Susan Townsend.
I'm Sarah Diamond.
And we're excited that you've come back to listen to a ghost story or two, or just stories of the unexplained. We have, since the last few episodes, have y'all seen some of the messages that we've gotten from everybody?
Thanks for sharing.
Very cool stories, guys.
We're really excited about sharing some of those stories with you guys. Susan, do you want to tell them?
Yeah, I can certainly share a story. So I'll just tell you that, we've hinted to this in other episodes, but I'm just not I don't seek ghost stories out.
No.
Yeah, so true. So, and I was always the one that...
Time out. You don't seek ghost stories out.
And yet I'm sitting here.
But no. You seek ghost stories out. You don't seek ghosts out.
For sure. Okay. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
So I like a good story because, who doesn't? And when you're passing in a town of less than 1,000 people, you do what your older sister says you're going to do. So I will share my ghost stories, but I don't seek ghosts out. I'm not trying to visit the dead. I don't want to open that vortex.
She doesn't own an EMF detector.
I don't. Nope. Not even a
I
little
don't
bit.
know an EMF detector.
But I have had maybe a couple of things that have happened in my life that are perhaps a little unexplained. Now, we all share our roots. We have a mom and a dad. And our dad, unfortunately, he passed away in 2005. And he was an interesting guy. He was a personality, and he had a strong presence. He was in law enforcement, and so he could be very intimidating and authoritative, as he was with us a lot.
And our dates, usually.
For sure. But Dad could also be the life of the party, or so we've been told. So we always just saw a very, you're going to do what I say type of personality. And he was he let his presence be known. And he was, would you guys agree with me, assertive. There was never any question as to when he entered a room or when he was headed your way or anything like that. Like, he was a firm personality. So in 2015, I had a 2-year-old, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but life with a 2-year-old, you're busy, and then you crash, and you're busy, and then you crash, and there's all these moments of you're busy, and then you nap, and then you're really busy, and then you nap, and so I was having one of those days with my 2-year-old. And also at the same time, my 16-year-old cat was very, very ill. Now, I know you guys are all thinking, oh, she's talking about her cat. This is hilarious. But, Mike and I were married for a long, long time before we had the 2-year-old that I'm referencing in the story. So the cat was our child. She was an indoor cat. She slept with us every night. We spent hundreds on vet bills every month because she unfortunately had a thyroid problem, chronic kidney failure, and we knew she was dying. And I remember being pregnant with my then 2-year-old. I remember when I was pregnant with her, I knew my cat was dying. I remember just telling her, Tidy, just hold on until my son gets here, because I just can't take the trauma of you leaving this world before my son gets here. And so I sort of bargained with her there, and I think she listened. I think she understood her place. But when my son was 2, we were at a place where Tidy was really just slipping from our hands. Mike and I, on one day, he and I decide, we're going to help Tidy out of this world. And it's time for her to go visit the vet, and we're going to get her a little help going to the other side. It was a tough day, and yet I was still trying to be mom to my 2-year-old. So it was go, rest, go, rest. And at the same time, my heart was broken because my 16-year-old baby I knew she was going to go on to the other side, and she was so sick, and we were just so heartbroken, but we loved spending time with our 2-year-old, and he just really made that day bearable, the day that we decided we were going to help our cat go to the other side. So, in a moment of rest, I'm laying down with my son in the room, and he is taking his nap. And I hear a knock on our door, and it was a very assertive knock. And I can recall, I'm gonna knock now. Do you guys
That's fine.
forgive me if this messes up our recording? But the knock was, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was no question that someone was at the door. There was no, oh, did something just fall over? And that's what I heard. It was a knock at the door. And, you know, my son was 2. I didn't go to the store a lot. My husband's an IT guy, so we do a lot of ordering online. And my first thought was, oh my gosh, somebody's at the door and I'm trying to lay down with my son. I'm just going to ignore it. My second thought was, oh, it's the mailman delivering a package. It's odd that he's delivering to the garage door, but that's fine.
Stop real quick.
Yeah.
The garage door. What did you think that the knock actually came? Because Susan has like you have the garage door, and then she has her laundry room.
Yes.
And then the door into the main house.
Yes.
So was the knock coming from the garage?
It was on the outside, and the door to the utility room, or where we would keep our washer and dryer, it was open. It was open to the house.
Okay, that was open.
Yeah.
And was the garage door up or down?
So, a ton of things are going through my head. I'm thinking, if it's the mailman, I'll get the package when we wake up. But remember to get the package. So the garage door was obviously up, right, in my head. It's obviously up because the mailman is in my garage. So, fast forward to the other side of nap time. I go and open the door to retrieve the package. The garage door is down.
Crazy.
The garage door is down. But remember, there was an assertive knock at the door. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is weird. Maybe you were dreaming. That's got to be the only explanation. You know, your life's a little crazy right now. You're a little out of your head. Obviously, this is a dream. So the great thing about where I live is I have neighbors. It's the whole reason why we still live where we live. We have a fantastic neighborhood. And when Browning was 2, we had a wonderful neighbor that lived across the street. She was 7 years old. She would come over and she would help me feed my son, and she would help me bathe my son, and she was over almost every afternoon, sometimes multiple times a day. Sweet little 7-year-old girl. So she would come over, she'd knock, she'd come in, and then we would realize, oh, she hasn't told her parents that she's come over, so we would, go, and I'd text her mom, I've got your daughter at my house, so on. Sure. So, but it wasn't uncommon that she would come over every day. Later that night, we have bathed our son. My husband and I are sitting in the living room, and we're kind of in a sad place because the next day we're gonna go take our cat. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was the next day. This was the next day. Yes. So the next day we have put our cat down, which was awful. And we are sitting in the living room, mourning the day, just having a recap of the heaviness of the day, and it's about 7 o'clock at night, because we've had dinner, my son has had his bath, we were sitting in the living room, and we hear a knock at the door, and the way the knock happened, you could tell it was light and quick, and my husband and I look at each other and we go, oh, that's the 7-year-old that lives across the street, it's exactly it. Because we both said her name. We looked at each other and went, what a happy thought.
Because you both heard it.
Yes, we both heard it. We're sitting in the living room. So we get up to go answer the door. The garage door is down. There's nobody at the door. So my husband and I hear it, both of us. We both agreed who it was, the 7-year-old across the street. We return to the living room and we have a little chat about what's happened, and I tell him about the knock the day before. And I share with him, because knocks on the door with no one there is actually something that happens, and people that believe in the paranormal, that knocks come and it is someone there to help assist and get somebody to help them go over to the other side. Well, the only assertive knock that I could come up with that might come help my little baby over to the other side is that assertive dad that we had. That he would come and he was going to help my baby over to the other side. And then that little girl's knock that knocked the next day, it had to be that soul of that precious little kitty cat letting me know she made it.
Yeah.
And I know maybe some of that is romanticism on my part, but it is my story, and it's my story of the unexplained, and forgive us all if we all have tears in our eyes, but it references our father who we loved, and we all had very different relationships with him because he all loved us very differently, but we miss him and love him all the same, and that's my story.
I like it. I really do.
Thanks for letting me share it with you guys.
I like that story a lot. So that's a neat kind of story. I think everybody's crying now because
I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
so if you enjoyed this story, please give us a like on Facebook. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Please don't give us a thumbs down. If you give us a thumbs down, when we die, we will haunt you.
For sure.
So please like us, subscribe, share it. And then if you have any stories and you want to tell us, we'd be glad to hear them. But we really appreciate you coming to our channel, Ghost Stories, because everybody has one.
And if you tell us yours, we'll tell you ours.